What's up, y'all? How we doing today? What's today's date? I think today's like the 4th. No, today's the 3rd. June 3rd, 2001. We're ready for the weekend. A couple things going down. Today we're going to be talking about that Mayweather, Logan Paul, I think is his name. That bout. I originally wasn't going to do a video on this, but a lot of my coworkers seem to be interested in this fight. So let's go. On the fight card, that on that fight card, we're gonna have Bottle Jock versus Dervin Der, Colina. Dervin Colina versus Bottle Jack. And if you know anything, Bottle Jack's a hitter. Then we got Jared Hurd versus Luis Arias. I think I have a coworker with that last name. Then last but not least, well, he's not last. Technically, he's the first fight on the card. Chad Ocho Cinco Johnson, a former wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe that's who he played for. He'll be fighting a man by the name of Brian Maxwell. Now, last name Maxwell, that's pretty famous, but Brian's not. All right, let's start it off with Brian Maxwell and Chad Ochocinco. Might as well, right? That's where the fight card starts. This is an interesting fight because it's Chad Ochocinco's very first boxing fight or match. It's gonna be an exhibition. He says it's gonna be his one and done deal. He ain't coming back after this, but you never know with these people. He might need the money. He might be doing it because he really wants to test himself. We don't know. We'll see. We'll see based on the work he put in. We'll see based on the outcome of the fight. We'll see what he does after the fight. You know, you just never know what some of these people's intentions are. I've seen some of the clips of him boxing, and let me tell you something. He looks good. But, granted, he is was a professional athlete. Was a very great football player at that. So he does look good. That's undeniable. How good does he look as far as boxing goes? He looks alright. He can throw a jab. I don't think he's good enough or in a position in his career and boxing career to where he can slack off. He's 43 years old, so the time he puts in now is the time that he's ever put in. So he has to worry about throwing that jab and bringing it back to place, throwing that straight right, throwing everything but bringing it back to place. And I noticed in a couple of his videos, it looks nice, it looks good, but that's my cat. He looks stiff. Head movement is not there. Ronda Rousey's coach would be yelling at him, head movement, head movement. But he looks good. Can he win? Probably. He has a nice right uppercut. I'll tell you that. He has a really nice right uppercut. His left hook looks good too, but I think his right uppercut is his money shot. Again, he's 43 years old and going to be his very first fight. All right, now to Brian Maxwell, his opponent. Now, a lot of folks do good in the amateur circuit, I guess you could say, but they don't do too good in the professional leagues. So, what can you do? All you can do is keep training and get better. With that being said, the man has an outstanding, a nice amateur career, but as far as his combat record goes, it's not that great. And you notice how I said combat? It's for a reason. Because he fought in MMA, he fought in boxing, and he's done a bare knuckle fights. I hate to say this about him, but he has his career in the professional ring doesn't look that great. He's like 0-3 in boxing, 0-2 in bare knuckle fights. I think he won like one MMA fight. I don't really remember too well. Plus, I didn't want to write all that stuff down. There's a lot of shit to write for a guy. I watched a few of his fights. He looks like if Chad hits him hard, he's gonna stop him. A couple fights that I watched, he kind of tried to get the referee involved, and the ref didn't buy it. I think the referee's Margiata. He does MMA and bare knuckle, but he's a great ref, and I like him because he'll call you out on your bullshit, and he kind of called him out on his bullshit. He was expecting, Brian Maxwell was expecting Murgiata, whatever the fuck you say his name. Oh, excuse my French. Try to pull a quick one on him, but couldn't. All right. Now on to the next one. We have Jared Hurd versus Luis Arias. Arias. I think I have a coworker by that name. Arias. Anyways, Jared Hurd is an outstanding boxer, if I may say so myself. I love watching his fights. I've always watched his fights. If you don't know who I'm talking about, he has his hair's always bleached yellow or blonde or some shit. Always comes in with the cape, with the flash. Has what the fuck does he have on his chest tattooed on? Some flash symbols. He has flash signs on his head. I think it's Swift. I think what he has on his chest is Swift tattooed. Anyways, great boxer. Oh, what I like about Jared Hurd is he always fights the best, most available opponents out there. He never takes the easy route. I like him for that reason. My man has one loss, and I kind of thought he won. It was a back and forth. His one loss, he looked good. I can't say anything bad about him other than I don't like his fucking hair. The guy's been fighting for years. He's an actual fighter. And his opponent, Luis Arias, had 18 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. Now, Luis is not no slouch either. And like I said, Jared Hurd always takes the best opponents. Luis has two losses. One's to Daniel Jacobs, and one is to this UK fighting dude. I forget his name, but the Daniel Jacob fight, he lost fair and square. But the opponents he lost to and came out fighting extremely good fighters. So Daniel Jacobs, even though he lost to him, Daniel Jacobs, if anyone knows that name, knows that he went on and fought Canelo Alvarez. He fought Triple G. He's been in some great fights, and even in his younger career, he was having outstanding fights. Never shies away from a good fight. Luis Arias, let's just call him Luis. Luis is a good fighter. He has a 1 draw. Now that draw, Gabriel Rosado. If anybody knows that, that's the guy that got bloodied up by Triple G. But he's also a good fighter. He's in that movie Creed with Sylvester Stallone and Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, that's Gabriel Rosado. He's a great fighter. Hits hard. Isn't scared to fight anybody. He'll take anyone on. So, again, this Luis fight and Jared Hurd is going to be an extremely good fight. Thing I like about the Jared Hurd Luis fight is I think he's going to go all 10 or 12 rounds. And they're good fighters. I mean, you'll be entertained. I'll tell you that. It's one to watch for sure. I'm gonna tune in for that. There's, how would you say? No doubt in my mind, I'm in. All right, folks. We're on to that Bottle Jock versus Darren Colina. Start off with Darren Colina. He's a late replacement. Never fought in America, but doesn't mean he's a slouch. 15 wins, 0 losses, and 13 KOs. Bottle Jock is not scared to fight the best fighters out there. Like I said about Jared Hurd, he has some of the same similar qualities or characteristics in his boxing career. He's not afraid, does not shine away, and is always in a good fight. Um, Doreen Colina, what can we say about him other than he's a late replacement? He's from Venezuela. The clips I watched of him, he looks hungry. He looks ready. He's ready for his American debut, that's for sure. There's no doubt about it. Does Botto have a nice little problem in his hand? Yeah, this is a late replacement and a good one. So don't be surprised if this late replacement upsets Bottle Jack. Bottle Jack is an extremely good fighter. Has 23 wins, 3 losses, 13 KOs. So you know there's gonna be a barn burner. Either someone's gonna get knocked out, or we're gonna see a lot of fucking blood. Oh, I can't be cussing them. So we know this is gonna be a nice little fight. If no one's familiar with the names, let me tell you a little bit about Bottle, because I did have watched him grow as a boxer. He's had a nice career here in America. Bottle Jack had a fight, had 3 losses, and his first loss was to Derek Edwards, and that was an embarrassing fight. Went down in the first round, got knocked down twice. They didn't look like crazy punches, but I guess they were. And not gonna lie, didn't look good for him. He really needed to come back. He came back, had a great career up until he ended up fighting Pasquale, Jean Pasquale. I think he might be a Frenchie, but Jean Pasquale is a little steroid user, a little cheat. You know, he likes that sweet juice, and I don't really think he should have got that fight. I don't think Pascal did enough. Even on the juice, I don't think he did enough. I think that one should have been overturned, especially now, granted that he failed just recently. 3 days, he failed 3 drug tests for 3 different banned substances by WADA. And if you're familiar with WADA, or they're the ones that I believe test the Olympics. Anyways, great agency to have, even if you can buy them out. Anyone can be bought out. But anyways, Pascal cheats, so I don't think we can hold that against Bottle Jack. And Bottle Jack, that fight was a good one. Now, his most recent and craziest fight that most bloodiest fight that I can recall in my past couple of years is Bottle Jack when he faced Brown. I forget the guy's first name, something Brown. But if you go and look up that fight, Bottle Jack has a fucking cut on his forehead like this, from here to my finger on his forehead. Blood everywhere. When the fight's over, you see that thing just wide open. It is craziest thing you've ever seen. He caught that from right straight. Hey, watch out. Watch out, dude. Messing with the camera position, dog. Or kitty. Anyways. My goddamn cat's doing too much over here, dude. Yeah, that was a good fight. And so if you haven't seen that fight, you got to definitely check that out. These guys are fighting Saturday, I believe, on that Mayweather Paul fight. Now, to the main event. What we've all been waiting for. A lot of people are hyped on this fight, and I heard a couple of my coworkers talking about how they're gonna bet on this fight, who's gonna win, decision this, decision that, and I told them that they're gonna be in for a big surprise. They're like, "Why do you think it's gonna be a good fight?" I was like, "Nah, I think Mayweather will win. I don't think the size discrepancy has an effect on this fight. I do believe size matters if there's a puncher's chance, but that works to an extent. Now, in jiu-jitsu is a great example of what I'm about to speak about, where the smaller man where the smaller man has an opportunity to beat the bigger man based on the technique and skill. I believe that every combat sport is like that. It just takes a certain individual. And I think Floyd Mayweather is that individual in boxing, where he can fight a guy that weighs 200 pounds, that outweighs him by 50 pounds. I think he can do it. I think Floyd can do it. Now, The surprise isn't that. The surprise is that there's not going to be no judges. The surprise is that there's not going to be no judges. There will be no winner based on decision. I guess KOs are allowed, but that's pretty much the way it's gonna go. If you've seen that Mike Tyson fight, I think it's gonna be like that. Similar to that. It's just weird. I don't think that it's gonna. How would you say? Have that extreme um, entertainment we're looking for. Uh, I think the fights under it are going to be more entertaining and more challenging than than the main fight itself. I think what we all got to look forward here is the undercard. Not taking anything from Floyd or the YouTuber kid. They're um, they're not. How would you say? I feel like we're gonna be watching like a Beetle versus like a Ferrari. Because the Beetle can hang block to block. That's for sure. But on the straightaway, on the long run, it ain't. So I think Paul will look good in some rounds because he's bigger. He's massive. But what, 1-2 rounds? The rounds that Floyd gives him just so he can download what he needs to do. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I just reading up on the rest of this. Just reading, it says Mayweather and Paul will not have headgear and will wear 10-ounce gloves. After a request from both camps to change from 12-ounce gloves was made official by the Florida State Commission Thursday, the spokesman said that the promotion could conduct some kind of vote for the winner, but it won't be recognized as official, and an exhibition does not count towards your professional career records. No. Due to this, and look at this, what I'm reading now. Due to the stark size and experience difference between the two men, the Florida State Boxing Commission could not by rule regulate the bout as an official pro boxing match. Paul weighs 199.4 pounds for his professional debut in 2019. A loss to fellow YouTube star KSI. Oh, that's his name. Mayweather has most recently fought at 154 and 147. Yeah, it's not gonna work out. Anyways, who do we think is gonna win? Mayweather. Who do I think is gonna win on the bottle jack? Doreen Colina. I think the late replacement coming in from Venezuela. I think the time's difference. I think the location. I think the environment. I think all eyes might be too much for him. Does he have a chance to win? Yeah. Would I put money on him? Probably. Yeah. Why not? He's not the favorite. That's why. But he has a chance to win. It's just hard to say what's going to happen with him. He's never fighting in the States, never fighting extremely upper echelon athletes in your weight class. It's going to be either he's going to be a stepping stone or he's going to step up. You know what I mean? Now we got the Herd and Luis Ariella. I think we're going to have Jared Hurd taking that one home. Chad Ochocinco versus Brian Maxwell. Brian, dog, you can do it.